Ahlan, my name is Ayman.
Ayman grew up in a family that loved education. His dad was a university teacher. His mom was a high school teacher. But Ayman hated education.
The system boxed me in. What I learned there had nothing to do with real life.
He always dreamed about making education better.
So many youth in Egypt graduate, but still they can't find a job.
He wanted to fix this by transforming education. So he founded Sprints. Sprints is a better way to learn online. Here, you can get the skills you need to get hired in high tech. And until you get the job, everything is free.
We have programs for refugees and people with disabilities. We try to help everyone.
Ayman has transformed from someone who hated education to someone who is educating thousands. He hopes to win this competition and impact millions across Africa.
This is my third time competing, and this year my motto is go big or go home.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, go big or go home, immersing us into an environment of education, as you may see with our AR. Please warmly welcome Ayman Bazaraa of Sprints. Ayman, go big or?
Go home.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. The globe is aging, but Africa is blooming. By 2030, African youth will constitute 42% of global youth. Sadly, only 2% of global techies are Africans. Our youth are spending 20 years of their life in education, yet they are unemployable. That's why I've created Sprints, to disrupt everything we hate about education and to ensure relevancy by being market-driven. Sprints graduates exceptional techies, not just to be employed locally, but to compete globally. At Sprints, we promise a guaranteed hiring learning journey. Our programs are co-designed with employers to ensure relevancy and integrate the latest market needs. Learners meet role-playing customers to gather software requirements and deliver software products on a weekly basis. This business simulation acts like a sandbox for our learners to develop their technical, business, and interpersonal skills. Our online, time-boxed, individualized journeys result in 86% employment rate. Learners only pay when they get hired, so underserved youth will be served as payment is no more an issue. We cover the top in-demand tech fields, backed with our online platform, interactive coding labs, integrated assessment portal. Our revenue streams are learners paying over 3 years after being hired with zero interest. Universities, governments sponsor learners. Employers even pay to hire our grads and upskill their employees. Amazon, Ipsos, and Vodafone are all examples of our paying customers. Do you see the scalability of this model? One investment in one learning journey leads to deployment everywhere. In B2C context, in B2B, in B2G, in universities, moreover, across all countries. This is why in the past year alone, we have delivered 1 million learning hours, impacting 9,000 lives, generating $1 million in revenue, operating at 80% gross margin and 50% net profit margin. This is a huge market of $120 billion, 38 our target in just 2 years. Now, I want everyone to imagine with me, millions of elite techies graduated from Sprints. What do you think the impact of this would be? Unlimited. We are not only unleashing the potential of African youth through top-paying jobs, but we are the growth engine of every startup, corporate, and government, which multiply our impact thousands of times. So why I'm here today? I'm here because I truly believe that Africa has a huge potential when it comes to youth and talents. And if this power is unleashed, we'll become the strongest tech hub in the whole world. And this is our mission at Sprints. Thank you.
And now the Q&A with Diane, Joe, and then Madame Ibukun.
Wow, congratulations, Ayman. This is a great, great business model. I agree with you entirely. You know, our education system is obsolete. We need to find new ways of educating our youth.
Exactly.
So I have a question on your business model, because the barriers to entry are very low. So you can be very successful and all of a sudden be disrupted by someone who brings more diversity, it's cheaper or whatever. How do you manage that? That's one. And how do you ensure that the people who eventually get a job pay? How do you do that?
Okay, two amazing questions, very hard. Regarding the defensibility, actually the defensibility starts from the connection with the employers. We are market driven. No university goes to the employers and asks them, what do you want? Why the youth, for example, all companies we interviewed, they have a rejection rate exceeding 98%. From every 100, they just accept 2. So the question is why our graduates are not meeting your requirements. So we start from this. By this, you engage the employer from day one. This strong network is defensible against any player who comes because he knows Prince, they know the brand, they know the quality, and actually our graduates are ambassadors. Now we are operating since 4 years. We have people everywhere. We have in Facebook and Google. We have people here working remotely. So those are actually the defensibility, the strength of brands. We have very strong competitors in Egypt. We kick them out. Very strong brands, global players, top-notch, because we are connected with the market, we understand the need, and actually we are from the market. I mean, I've been working through 20 years now in the tech field. I hired hundreds, maybe thousands now, so we know the language and we can close this barrier. Secondly is the content.
But what if Google comes and you know, does something similar?
Yeah, actually this is the strength of partnerships. Actually, we can partner, for example, Alibaba, for instance. They have their certificates. Yes, this is something that can connect or integrate after our program. We teach cloud foundations and so on. Then you integrate with the company so that you can take certificates. We have done this many ways. So again, here we are going to create an impact. So we are okay to partner with whatever company wants to play in the field so that we can create a bigger impact. Second thing is the content itself. Actually being responsive to the market and iterating. We are sprints from iterations, so we're always taking feedback. If somebody not hired, we understand why it's not hired, and then we create a new version of the content. So continuously updating the content also is defensible. It's very hard to create content nowadays. Thirdly is the investment in automating the generation of the content. Now we are using AI, automatic narrations, and so on. So this is also something. Also, finally, the blend between business, technical, and interpersonal skills. Anything, they just teach you technical, soft skills, business. The blend, real work is about the blend. It's about the business simulation. This is why if you work for 1 year, it can negate or overcome 20 years of education. So it's about exposure, real exposure. So again, connecting with the market, understanding their need, being responsive. We already kicked out much larger companies, and we will continue to do this. And again, welcome to competitors. They are solving the same problem that nobody was able to solve it. High quality education till today is for A class. We want it to be for everybody.
How do you make your clients pay? How do you make your clients pay when they get a job?
Okay, so we have different model. First model, we did it from day one. We have gone to the Egyptian government and we spoke. And actually, this is how we start things. We understand what's the problem. We have a foreign currency problem. We need to increase the IT exports. So we tell them, we'll get you people who can increase the IT exports, okay? So we want you to offer a zero interest loans for the students so that we show you that they started to generate income, you release the loan to us, and the owner will pay you over 3 years the zero interest loan. So actually, we were able to make this policy change. However, we have other systems. We have installments payment, some people pay in advance, and they take cash back in case they are not hired in a certain period of time, so we can cover all the needs. So again, this is how we resolve the problem, and operating in any other country might be if the government doesn't incentivize, although most countries invest in education. This is what the alignment is very important. But again, it could be with some interest rate where they pay after being hired.
Hey, Ayman. So, I heard the story from the video that your parents were both teachers, and that's why you hated education. And now you founded a company that you call yourself an EdTech company, education company. But I'm about to say something controversial. I hope you don't mind.
Sure.
I saw your projections. Most of your revenue stream in the future will actually come from the B2B business, which is you're collecting money from employers. And what if I just say you're more like an employment agency disguised as an EdTech company? How would you address that criticism?
Okay. So actually, I like science. I like learning. I hate this kind of education. I mean, I do believe education through practice, through exposure. I worked from a very young age. I find myself in work. I didn't find myself in a closed class for 20 years. So I like learning. Every day I study 2 to 3 hours. Okay? But again, I hated this system that actually it's the opposite of unleashing the potential. Actually, it limits your potential. Back to your question, from day one, we actually started B2C at the beginning, okay? Because we wanted to prove that this model will work, okay? But B2B, the money is in the business side, and the pain is in the business side. They have to pay, okay? How we generate money from the business? First, they pay because actually we have hundreds of data points for the learners. No employment portal has the data that we have for learners. On daily basis, we measure storytelling skills. They have to upload the video with a demo to demonstrate the product that they developed. We test giving attitude. The teams help each other. It's team-based learning. This is how they can work online because actually they meet physically, but they upload their projects online and what they delivered online. So we have many data points that actually the employers are searching for good calibers, and here you can see what exactly you want. And this is the offering that actually opened the eyes for any employer, and they are willing to pay because you are helping me getting the best caliber. Any company is all about the team, so you are solving the main problem and you speak the same language, because you are from the market itself, you know the pain. So this is how the intimacy happens. So they pay for this. Second thing I didn't mention, that we just started a few months ago, that hiring, because we previously hired locally in the market. Now we are hiring for US and European companies, and we are the employer of record. So people who graduate, we hire them, and they work remotely under the supervision with a US-based company, a European company. By this, we have foreign currency. By this, it's a proof that we are graduating people on a global scale. Actually, people who work can give us more business and so on because they are connected. So it's a kind of an incremental, iterative that give you. So again, the B2B, B2C model, you can see almost reach around 30% to 70%, but this combination you take from the learner, but again, I thought to make it NGO at the beginning, sprints. I don't want to pressurize the learners to pay. Actually, the business has to pay. This means that this person has a value. Second point as well, that we also engage with employers for the induction training, the first year program and so on. This is also because they want plug and play people, they want to upskill them and so on. So we also develop this kind of skills for the first year employee. So this is also an additional way where the employer pay.
Right. So you're using the B2C business to collect data on the learners so that could be, that opportunity could be sold to the employers. I understand the model, but in order to have a viable B2C business, to get the learners to come, you have to have good content, good teaching material. How do you ensure the quality of your teaching material and teachers?
Okay, so because we actually start with the what, not the how. What the graduate or the future employee needs to have in order to be employable. So we know what is the objective. We know the current state. All learners have to pass an assessment, a very intensive assessment, to know why he or she is not employable. And actually, they receive a report that tells you why you are not employable. Why? Because I have these gaps, technical and non-technical gaps. By this, if this is alone, this is a huge impact, because now he knows where to work. He was just trying to apply, and he or she cannot find a job. So assessment-based, and the journey is actually created based on our platform, based on the gaps that this person have. So we ensure that this is the shortest path for employment. We are just focusing on the gaps that this person have. Regarding the content is focusing on the gap. So it's relevant. The person knows that I need to be, our completion rate is 95%. This is one of the top highest completion rates if compared to other online platforms, which is 5%. Because I know that by the end of this journey, I get employed. This is the data of sprint, this is the history of sprints, and I focus just on my gaps This is how to make their content relevant. We have more than 400 experts in more than 12 countries. Biggest Facebook, Google, biggest countries. They want to give back. They are African people who made it to the top high, and they want to help us. We have studios in multiple countries where people shoot, so it's not an iterate, I would say, a huge investment. You shoot it once, and then you can utilize it afterwards. Also, we have a lot of events, on-the-ground events, gathering events, meeting employers and employees. So I try to create an ecosystem so that everyone stay connected.
Thank you.
Okay. Well done. What's the break-even number of students you must have in a year to be profitable?
We are already profitable. We are at 50% net margin, so we're already profitable. However, we closed an investment because we want to go to Nigeria and Kenya, and our plan is to reduce actually our net margin because we're paying it in taxes. It's better to invest in content, invest in the platform, invest in the branding and the marketing. So you will see that we are intentionally reducing our net margin due to this kinds of investment, and later on it will ramp up. But currently the business is profitable.
Yeah, so if from the 2022 data, 9,000 learners, so at what number of learners were you profitable?
Actually, the unit metrics that every learner pay $138. Okay, so it's at 50% net margin. We are talking about 50% or maybe 60% of because there are some indirect costs. So you become profitable. So very quick unit metrics: 138 revenue per learner. Our CAC is so small because the word of mouth. Everybody who's hired, he just tell all his family, his friend, and so on. So 4% of CAC, around 15.5% in terms of direct cost and COGS. Then we have 80% gross margin. So
okay. So you just said now you want to go to Nigeria and another market, but this is an online cost system, right? So you're open to every market through the year. So
exactly.
Why are you targeting? What do you need to do differently in each market if you're open as a global market? Yeah, actually in single cohort you have multinationalities, and this is the beauty of what we are already doing. But again, you need to have strengthen your brand in the market. You need to connect with the employers, as local employers, especially the biggest one at least. So there are some on-ground activities that needs to be done, but at least for the content side, everything is almost similar. Yeah. Okay. What's the difference between you and Andela?
Andela actually is a very good model. It focuses more on the remote hiring part. So there is a competitive part here. The education part, they almost drop it. So yeah, we are very similar to Andela. However, they lose the data point part. They don't have the collections that we collect. So they just focus on hiring senior people, and then they place them for big companies outside. We focus more on the younger generation.
Do they not have a training program like you?
Yeah, they have, but I mean, they switched the focus a few years ago to more into the hiring part.
Okay, so you are doing the lower end of the market.
Yeah.
And they do the upper end of the market.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So where is the biggest market opportunity, at the lower end or at the higher end of the market?
What is the biggest opportunity? In what?
Where is the biggest opportunity? Is it at the lower end of the tech market or at the higher end of the tech skill market?
Okay. Actually, when we talk to employers, they want teams. Okay? And at cost-effective rate and high quality. Okay? Actually, one of our values is quality and excellence. So why it's business simulation? Because when you deliver a shitty product to a customer, actually the platform will shout at you and will threaten you that this is unacceptable quality. So what we do, we blend teams between senior people who have been operating for 4 years. So we have now senior people, plus we can recruit people actually as well, so that we blend the team. And we sell this team to the remote employer. So this is the model. It's not about only selling senior people or lead people. We want actually to build teams, and these teams work with remote employers.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity to have a very good cost between high-end developer with high cost, with juniors, so mass power and very energetic, and they can work a lot. This blend, actually, the customers like it so much. Actually, they are building companies remotely now in Egypt. I want a complete company. They start by this. So, okay, give us just recruit from your 80% juniors and give me seniors, and then we can start and increase the size as we go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.